Greetings one and all, you're with Got That Funk, and it's a kind of a weird day out there. The great big massive gray clouds keep on rolling across the sky at an alarming rate, so don't be surprised if my face goes black from time to time as the room darkens and lightens back up again. Anyway, hi, this is a video response to TheWoodsofJordan and his video, Is Homosexuality a Choice? And before I start speaking to Jordan directly, let me address the rest of my viewers. People, I know that you're probably sick and tired of me talking about this subject, and I also know that most of you, probably 90% of you, do not need convincing that homosexuality is not a choice. Jordan and his ilk, however, do need a bit of re-education, and I would like to have one more go at it. So, hello Jordan, I hope you're well. You knew for sure when you made your video that you were going to get a video response from me. I have no doubt about that. Partly because you left out the bits in Leviticus, which I recommended that you do last time we talked about this subject. Anyway, Jordan, I mean no offense when I say what I'm about to say, but it's attitudes like the one that you've expressed in your video, Is Homosexuality a Choice? And other videos, not just on this subject, but on similar subjects. Attitudes like yours, quite frankly, are what caused me to stop being a Christian. And I would put it to you, Jordan, that you are at risk of losing more people than you gain by preaching this kind of nonsense. All right? Anyway, I'm irretrievably lost, by the way. I am not convertible, so please don't try to convert me back to Christianity. I have seen right through it, and I'll never go back. Okay? Anyway, getting on to the subject of homosexuality being a choice or otherwise. Now, I've got a couple of props here, Jordan. I've got an Oreo cookie. What? Yeah, an Oreo cookie. I've got an apple. Okay. And I've got a Satsuma. Now let's just say that the apple represents blonde women. The Satsuma represents redheads. And the Oreo cookie represents brunettes. All right? Now, when I'm deciding that I'm hungry, I need a little snack, and I look to these different things that I could eat in my cupboard, and I think, ooh, do I want an apple or a Satsuma or an Oreo cookie? And whichever one I choose to have will be based on any number of different factors. Making a choice is actually quite complicated in terms of the internal mechanisms that go on in your brain, and what you finally choose depends on obviously what you want at the time. Now, as regards using these props to symbolize women, that's the point I'm trying to make is, no matter which choice of these fruits or cookie that I make, I'm going to end up with something that I like, because they're all things that I like. Now, I like women, and so therefore, no matter whether I have a blonde or a brunette or a redhead, I am going to appreciate the fact that she's a woman more than the color of her hair. All right? However, many people do prefer, say, blondes or redheads or whatever. I have a natural weakness for redheads myself. Now, that doesn't mean I only go with redheads, does it? Of course not. That would be dumb. That would be overly limiting, wouldn't it? It would ignore all the beautiful people out there who don't have red hair, wouldn't it? Anyway, where I'm going with this, Jordan, is choices are complicated. It's complicated to make any kind of a choice in life. And your argument that homosexuality is a choice is fallacious on so many levels. It's actually taken me a few different goes making this video to try to figure out which is the best way to try to get through to you. Because, believe me, I've made one or two videos already on this subject to you, which I'm not going to post, which were a little bit too belligerent. And I'm thinking I want to try to get through to you, Jordan, in a way that helps you to understand, because it actually matters to me that you and people like you pull your head out and realize that homosexuality is not a choice. And I've come up with an interesting way, I hope, of getting that message across. Now, Jordan, I'm sure there's different kinds of food that you like and don't like. Me, I don't like liver. I hate liver. In fact, the sight of liver makes my back go a little bit wiggly. If I see liver on a plate, if I touch liver, it practically makes me want to hurl. And you can guarantee that if I put liver in my mouth and chew it up and swallow it, I am going to hurl. I hate it. Now, I tried liver once about 25 or 35 years ago, and realized at that time that I didn't like it, and I can promise you that if I live to be 3,000, I will never, ever have liver again, because I hated it that much. On the other hand, Jordan, Just because I don't like the taste of it doesn't mean I couldn't choose to eat it. I could choose to eat liver every single day for the rest of my life, but I can't choose whether I like it or not. In the same way, Jordan, you could choose to kiss another man if you wanted to. You could choose any number of different kinds of homosexual behavior. You could choose those things. But you can't choose whether they make you feel good. You can't choose whether you get any satisfaction or fulfillment from those things. You could lay in bed naked with a man, Jordan. Does that make you feel uncomfortable, the thought of it? If it makes you feel uncomfortable, that's because you're probably not a homosexual. If it doesn't make you feel uncomfortable, it doesn't mean you're homosexual. It just means you're not scared by ideas, you know? The point is, if you were to lay in bed with another man naked, whether any relations were going on or not, if you're uncomfortable, that's because it's in your nature to be uncomfortable with that situation. If you were comfortable, that's also because it's in your nature to be comfortable with that situation. You can't choose whether to be comfortable or not. You can try and act comfortable, but what's going on inside you is not a choice. Now, it's the same way with all homosexual behavior. Anybody who is heterosexual, if they wanted to, could choose to have sex with someone of their own gender. And does that choice in itself make them gay? No, not all by itself. I think there's a word for that that was very popular in the 90s. It was called bi-curious. You know, curiosity is natural for human beings. Whether they're heterosexual or gay or bisexual, curiosity is part of the human condition. And some people would prefer to try something before they decide that they don't like it. That's called being open-minded. Maybe that's something you should consider. Because, Jordan, it occurs to me that you quote your Bible in every single video I've ever seen you do. And, hang on, my piece of paper's falling off the desk. You quote a couple of bits from the Bible, which I've bookmarked here. Romans 1:26 and Corinthians 6:9 through 11. So, I've got my Bible here, Jordan, and I know it's a Jehovah's Witness Bible, which you don't take as a great authority, because you don't really believe in the translation of it, but hang on, I've got my Corinthians bit here. If I can just turn to the right exact page. Okay, and we're going to... There we go. There's that one. And then we're going to go to the Romans page. And we're going to rip that out. Okay? Now, I have just fixed my Bible, Jordan. I've taken the offensive bits out of the Bible. Now, I'm sure that when you saw me do that, you might have found it offensive. I'm sure you think that desecrating a Bible like that is sacrilegious. But I'll tell you something, Jordan. That Bible right there is a book. It doesn't have any feelings. People have feelings, Jordan. When you tell someone that you know more about them than they do, it's an insult on such a level that I really find words inadequate to describe. You're trampling on people, Jordan, when you say things like homosexuality is a choice, or that homosexuality is a sin, or that homosexuality is some way unnatural. You're trampling on their feelings, you're insulting their character, their dignity. You're not recognizing them as valid human beings. And I think it's time that you did. Jordan, if, according to you, it is your job to show love to everyone, I would implore you to accept that showing someone love means not telling them who they are, or telling them that they are evil or destined for hell. Those things don't accomplish anything. They put a wedge between you and the person you're talking to. And yeah, okay, you might get plaudits from some of your Christian people who are going, oh, you told them, you told them. But you're really just talking to yourselves. You're not convincing anyone of anything that needs to be convinced. I would also say this to you, Jordan. You can't choose who you love, and you can't choose that you love. Someone, somewhere, will finally make you realize this, Jordan. I don't think it's going to be me convincing you in a video on YouTube that your views are wrong. However, I can't help but try, because when I see people like yourself, who I know have a good conscience, saying things like homosexuality is a choice and really believing it and falling back on your Bible as if your Bible can think when your Bible can't think, Jordan. You have to do the thinking for yourself. Now, the last thing I'm going to say is, the author of Romans and Corinthians, I might be mistaken about Romans, but I know Paul wrote Corinthians. Chances are Paul wasn't homosexual. So Paul couldn't know that it was natural for homosexuals to be homosexuals. It's just like you or me saying that we know what it's like to be black when we blatantly don't know what it's like to be black. You can imagine as much as you want, but you just don't know. So to write from a point of inexperience is ignorant at best, malicious at worst, and I don't think you should take it that seriously. I'm out of time. This has Got That Funk. May all your ups and downs be ups. Peace.